We go. How we
We're here,
doing?
man. Welcome to the show, man. Calvin Ryan is here. Sports Hip Hop with DJ Mad Max, like
Okay.
365, iHeartRadio.
Hey, that's what's up.
What's going on, man? Coming all the way out of Queens, but you're in Manhattan right now, originally from Bayside, Queens.
Originally from Bayside, Queens. I'm actually in Miami right now.
You're in Miami.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
How's it
sir.
to be out there, man?
Oh, it's fucking awesome. It's fucking beautiful. It's December or it's January. Shit.
Yeah. But it feels like July out there, right?
It's fucking amazing.
For where we are.
Yeah, not for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't miss that cold weather. Forget that.
Nah, nah, not really. I miss
No.
the fits. I'm not gonna lie. I miss the fits.
Yeah.
With the cold, you got so many layers. You got the best drip out there.
Yeah.
Down here, everyone's just in shorts, t-shirts, and flip flops. Shit.
It's nice though. The palm trees, the weather. I mean,
Facts, facts, facts.
we're sick out here. Nah, but we got to get into this, man. Eventually we'll all get out to Miami. But man, congratulations on everything that you've achieved this far. Al Nice told me a lot of great things and just sent me over your portfolio work, and I checked it out and let me know this was something that you dropped last year.
I did.
It did well. You working on the follow up right now?
Yeah, yeah. We actually got a fuck ton of tracks that kind of uh just organized for the rest of this year, actually. Got a lot of tracks coming, a lot of tracks on the vault. Definitely it's different than what's out right now. So if you're fucking with what's out right now, you definitely fuck with the new stuff.
Yeah. High stake roller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tough. That's the one that was really going off for you, I saw.
Yeah, yeah, that one Cartagena crazy. High Sig Roller was dope it was dope, especially being the first music video I
Yeah.
made. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah.
Man, how does it feel? Because you come all the way, just being an artist starting out, you learn how to engineer. Now it's the fact that you're engineering your own music and you're finally having success, and this is putting your whole artistry together here from scrap.
Yeah, I mean it's great, seeing things come together. Um, but at the end of the day, like Kobe said, job ain't finished. So
Yeah, no, far from finished. And I like that Kobe reference.
finished, baby.
Kobe, where does Kobe rank for you? Because you mentioned him on your list of top athletes of all time, or even basketball
Great,
players.
great question. Now, honestly, basketball players, he's my number one.
Mm. I was
He's
having a
my
conversation the other day with someone. And I said, I think he's accomplished more than Jordan from the standpoint he had the sneakers. He just won an Oscar. He had
Yeah,
5 NBA championships, right? Look at all those MVPs. He was just one short of tying Jordan.
exactly.
Jordan hasn't won an Oscar despite being a Space Jam, but
I like to say that, I didn't grow up watching Jordan.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I grew up watching Kobe, and then just like literally just growing up, just fucking tossing little paper balls in the trash can every 2 seconds at school, just keep myself entertained.
yeah. And saying Kobe is that paper goes into the trash can.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
just like,
You're from New York. You're from Queens. We already know that already.
yes,
You
sir.
watched you watch Kobe. Kobe's your guy. Were you
Yeah.
rocking with the Knicks being a New Yorker?
I'm rocking with the Knicks. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm a
Yeah, I'm a
Knicks
Knicks
fan.
fan too.
Yeah. Go Knicks, baby. It's a little tough for us right now, but we're developing. We're
Yeah.
developing.
Yeah, we are. Did you see the trade rumors earlier? Apparently, we might get Grayson Allen. There's some rumors out there.
I did not, nor do I want that. Fuck that kid.
Yeah,
Fuck that kid.
No, you know what though? Like I thought about that. I had the same attitude as you, but you know what? This team needs physicality. They need a bully. They need to get back to that Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason era from the '90s. They
Facts,
need someone
facts,
to just shove it down these guys' throat because you can't have Fred Van Vliet and Barnes coming in here and schooling this team.
facts. That's what I was hoping Julius Randle would be for it, but
Yeah, but
shit.
he's soft. He fights his own players.
Yeah, facts.
He does.
We gotta rough him up a little bit, and then just get him to rough everybody else up a little bit.
Yeah. Oh man, but I want to get into the early beginnings here of your career because this really all started. You want to be an artist, but you noticed the early signs of you wanting to get into music was when you're going to your uncle's house and playing the piano.
What the fuck? How'd you find that? Yeah, facts though. Yeah, yeah, low key, yeah. I'll be a little kid. I'd just be going up to the piano and like trying to like come up with like little, I guess like now I know there are little like melodies and like loops, and I just be like, check this, check this out. It'd be like 6 keys, but it'd be dope.
Any other instruments that you tried out besides piano? Because I know there's someone in your family that actually played guitar around you.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
my grandpa played the guitar. He was actually he was like an artist, but he sang a lot. He actually even has like I guess a mixtape you'd call it. This is like a
Okay.
straight like 35 minutes just nonstop from like 50, 60 years ago, man. It's just in a bar with his homie on the guitar, and then he's just singing on a mic. He's able to burn that CD and actually low key we've been making like a project out of some of those samples.
Wow. So you're even making a project with your grandfather with those. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Shout out to you.
I
That's
made that.
different. No one, not too many people make projects with their families.
Nah, he's the reason I honestly got into music and was like honestly like fell in love with music at such a young age. Like I grew up with my Hispanic grandparents at home, and he was playing music throughout the house 24/7. He collected CDs from everywhere, all over the world. We'd go to a random restaurant, just a live band would be playing. He's like, "Oh, I like that. Like, sounds good." Like he'd walk right up to them. "You guys have some CDs I could buy?" And everywhere we went, whether it was like somewhere in Mexico, whether it was in Florida, like and anywhere and everywhere. And man's actually has a collection of freaking thousands of CDs just from all bands, independent artists from all over the world. And
Wow.
he'd be playing those throughout the, just every day, just throughout the house. So I just got exposed to, such diverse music, but mainly, the Hispanic, very melodic, old school music.
Mhm. Pop, R&B, and then you made your way to rap and EDM.
Yeah, yeah. I started off with pop, just because I have two older brothers, and they were, taking over the controls, radio, whatever it may be, where I was listening to. So listen to a lot of pop, a lot of um Chris Brown,
Mhm.
T-Pain, Lil Wayne, a lot of Justin Timberlake, Rihanna, just whatever was on the radio back then, like the early 2000s.
Yeah, the classic era, the 2005 era.
Yeah, exactly. It was the
Whenever we're
best
talking about Chris
era,
Brown, we're talking about when he first came out with Run It and Give Me That.
Yeah, we talk. Yeah, exactly. We
Yeah.
talk fucking like Nelly and just like
No, it's funny. I was listening to Nelly the other day, Country Grammar, Dilemma, Air Force Ones.
exactly.
There's never going to be another era like that
Nah,
again.
nah, nah.
The,
It's crazy.
the 2XL, 3XL jerseys, the baggy tees.
I feel like that's low key coming back though. That's low key
Yeah,
coming back. Everything's just like fashion, music, all of it's it's just circles. Gonna come back.
I'm hoping. But I've been baggy since '99, so there's no one. I haven't been rocking anything tights.
Real,
Yeah.
real.
You already know, man. So your first song was Mistake. So tell me when you really started to express yourself as an artist on paper, because we know that the first song that you dropped was Mistakes.
Yeah, on paper was
Like 16 or 17 years old, really.
yeah, around like
Yeah.
14, 15, 16. I was just like had my phone like notes, and this is probably like eighth grade. Before all that, like I would just be in class with just like my hoodie on, and then I have my not even an iPod touch or anything. It was like an MP3 player. I had that shit in my pants, in my little pockets, and I had the headphones in there going up inside from my shirt through my sweatshirt, and then I'd just be sitting in math class just listening to music.
Yeah, with the headphone in your hand, making it like you're just
Yeah, the
leaned
little
up. Yeah,
earbud,
I
little
remember when kids
earbud
used to
just.
do that.
Mhm. And eventually, when I got to like high school, I would like low key just like I don't know. I'd have just like random bars pop in the head. Be like, oh, cool. I just like write that down. And, like a random idea to a song. I thought it was normal for like about everybody was doing that type of shit. But that's why I guess it was just different.
Mhm.
And that's when I was like really first like writing like lyrics and like started even like think about it. But it was always because half Asian, half Hispanic. My mother's very Roman Catholic, strict, religious. My dad's just like very old school like Chinese. Is like the thought of maybe working in music or like thinking about it, going to school for it ever. Psych, you thought.
Yeah. But it's paying the bills because your journey it progresses from here because you want to figure out, I mentioned before, you want to learn how to engineer the Penthouse studios. And this is
Yeah.
where Alicia Keys is recorded over time.
No, that was Jungle City
That was
Studio.
Jungle. Okay, that was Jungle.
Yeah, but I started at Penthouse Studios. It's in the building where like Tupac got shot. Everybody from like Whitney Houston to the Beatles have been in that building. So that was like a legendary, just like a great start to my professional music career and like learning how to engineer and everything.
Mhm. What was the biggest obstacle that you had to tackle in learning how to be an engineer on the technical side?
The mixing part,
Mm,
the mixing part for sure. Because I before I got into the studios, I was like, all right, like I'd paid for like 1 or 2 studio sessions at like a small like studio on Queens, and I was like watching this man's like on his phone, all was recording and just like ordering food and shit. I was like, yo, how the fuck am I like I can learn this shit myself. Fuck this. And come the pandemic, I took my stimmy and I bought I bought an interface, I bought a mic, bought the headphones, a stand. Um, and I started tracking myself in Logic. And originally, I could record a song, I could track myself, but it was like, okay, this is like SoundCloud, like not this is like SoundCloud quality, cool. Like I can get that up there, but if it's like trying to get something on the radio and like trying to take myself seriously, like I gotta learn like how to move, you know what I mean?
yeah.
How to actually make the song sound professional too. And that's when I figured, working like getting an internship at a recording studio would be, the best spot. Cause, just like in school, you don't really learn much. You learn when you're out in the job site, actually doing it what it is and like doing the actual job. That's when you like learn the most and like learn the best. That's where I figured, I'd start working at a studio. Started off just strictly just cleaning runs, getting food, wiping the toilets,
Started
fucking.
from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yeah, exactly. And then from there we slowly learned, got into the sessions, was able to watch the engineers, watch Pro Tools, and then like kind of like hear the difference because man's ain't got $50,000 speakers at home.
Yeah.
Those little things that like peak at you hear everything. So from there I kind of just like slept there and just learn, just practice and got the reps on my own, on myself, my own music, and kind of just went on from there. Eventually getting my own sessions at that studio, and then eventually moving to Jungle City Studios.
Yeah, and you mentioned legendary acts that that's recorded at these studios. Tell me, who's someone that you engineer that you were surprised that may have blown up that we haven't heard a story about yet? Have you been in the presence of someone that may have engineered it may not have been you or could that was you? Was there an artist song that blew up?
We say it again.
Is there an artist song that blew up that was engineered by you or even someone in your presence that you were there for at one of these studios?
Um, I wouldn't say like blown up, uh, like top 10, but like more so, probably like bigger Spotify like editorial playlists. Like,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Anyone in particular you want to share the story
Uh,
behind that you could think of?
I'll shout out my little boy, Lil Mabu. Actually,
Okay.
he was at the studio a lot. I was recording him a lot. Actually, if you go to his Instagram or social media and you see that day he got like ran up on in the studio, you see me in the chair right there. Actually, try to like fucking, like hold him back. I was there that night. Shit was crazy.
Steez.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Steve's too.
Yeah. That's another one. You record that with your cousin.
I did indeed. Yeah, Steez, Want You, Susia. Those are all my cousin as well on them. Bruno, Lucy. Shout out Lucy. He's out in Ecuador right now. Uh, that was a time too. That was a good time. I just
Being a
had
bilingual artist, because we look at the greats back in the day, such as Big Pun, you would see how he'd go in and out from rapping in English to Spanish. Is it subconsciously when you do it on songs? It just happens right on the spot? What sounds better?
um no, I wouldn't like some parts, yeah, and some parts no. Um, I feel like it's different with every song. Like there are some songs that an idea will literally just pop up in my head and I'll just start going with it and see where it goes. And then initially, like in my first like the very first reaction, the very first instinct is, you know, writing and like rap and singing in English, just because it's my first language. And then sometimes I'll hit like a little like stop and I'll be like, shit, like what else do like little writer's block, and then I'll just remember like I speak a whole other language. So there's a whole other like dictionary to choose from, you know. So I try and switch it up. Other songs, they're like, you know, you hear those Hispanic drums and you're just like hearing like, okay, like this Hispanic song, like automatically like off rip, start getting ideas in Spanish. And other songs, you know, I'm just straight up just writing it, and like takes a whole night to write. So it really just depends on the song, the vibe, and what I'm trying to accomplish that night.
Now, how do your parents feel now that you're making a real stable career off of this, and just now that they've officially heard the music from you?
They've heard it. They like it. They're, you know, hopeful, but I wouldn't say supportive.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
you know.
No, that not in a way I can relate. I can, trust me, just from what I do, because is it from a standpoint as you have accomplished a lot throughout your career. You've accomplished a lot, but for some reason they just don't believe in you for just some reason. And it's like I believe in myself, but it's like why don't you after what
It's
I've accomplished?
it's I'd say it's more of a like a minority mindset of, you know, they both come from, you know, third world countries to New York to, you know, raise a family and, you know, have their own business, and to the point like they have obviously like expectations that, especially being very strict like Asian and Hispanic, that, you know, the only options are, you know, the very like white collar like jobs of, you know, a dentist, lawyer, accountant, attorney, whatever it is. It's
Yeah, a collar and with a tie.
like those are like real jobs.
Yeah.
So it's like anything outside of that, it's just like they don't, I don't want to say they don't understand, but they don't, you know, they've never experienced, if they've never been able to, you know, meet someone in those industry, whatever creative industry it may be, whether it be, you know, music or fashion, um, or sports, like they haven't met someone in that industry that is able to, you know, show success and be able to like prove them that, you know, you can make it in these industries. To them, it's kind of just like a 1 in a billion chance. And it's like, why are you wasting your time type of thing.
Yeah, well, they're going to be proven wrong. Because we see what
Yeah.
you've accomplished this far, and 2023 is really going to be the leap year for you, I think. And just seeing how the process, the building blocks have came about so far would let me know with the project last year. You're already working on the new one. So I'm
Yeah.
sure that 2023, you know, how's 2023? We're only, what are we, 23 days in right now? So how
23
these
days
23
in.
days been for you so far? What's the vibe for this year feeling like so far?
It's been a crazy year already. So I'm in Miami, and I actually have recently, you know, been fortunate enough to sign a distribution deal.
Oh, congratulations on that, man.
Thank you, man.
That's
Thank
big.
you.
Pop the champagne, get the cork, all right?
Not yet, not yet,
Not
not yet,
yet.
not yet, not yet. Job ain't finished, baby. Job ain't finished. I'm 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 I plan long term. And like that's the success I want to see. Like long term. Like I don't want to just turn around in 2 years and then just pop off and just be like, all right, cool. Like you see, I did it. All right. And like, then it'll fall off from there, you know.
Yeah. You don't
Like,
want to be like Fetty Wap. Fetty Wap's a great artist, but it's
yo,
like this
I
man,
fuck with Fetty Wap,
you
man.
know,
I can't say I don't want to be like that. Fetty Wap is dope as hell.
he
Funny.
is fire. But from a longevity standpoint, like he dropped all these hits, and it's like, where'd you go? What happened?
Mhm. I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, it's also up to like everyone's own, um, you know, priorities and what they're looking for. You know, he accomplished maybe like what he wanted to accomplish, kind of just like, you know, pop up, get all these hits, make his money, and then, you know, invest elsewhere and, you know, kind of build your own brand. Shout out Fetty Wap, because
Yeah, He's dope. No, trust me, I
Yeah.
can still go back and listen to his
Fucking-
projects. I'm using it from like a year standpoint because it's like this man had one of the biggest years. 2015 was the year of Fetty
Dude,
Wap,
I was
and
low key 2015, 2016. I was one of his biggest fans. I was on all those unreleased SoundCloud, all that shit that's taken off now from SoundCloud.
Zuvi Zoo.
Oh, bro, what? Everything. What was the cake team? That shit was
Remy Boy Monty, all the stuff that he had with him too.
insane. Insane.
No, he had a hell of a run, but you got this
If I could hit
distribution
Fetty
deal.
Wap's level of fame, and I'd be content too. Fetty Wap's the shit, man.
He is.
Fetty Wap, if you see this, man, we gotta make a track.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's going to be happening this year. Who are some artists you think? We mentioned Fetty Wap just now that you're a fan of his, but who's someone that you want to link up in the studio with, or you can even be on the mixing tip, or most of all artist tip, because I think you're ready to take your artist off to the next level.
Um, that's tough. There are a lot of people that I'd love to, just meet in the stew and chat, whether it's hopping on a song or just chopping shit up. I feel like I could learn from a lot of people, and the people I try and like learn from the most are people who are like independent artists who are also able to use their music to kind of establish a different platform and a brand to be able to keep their brand and like personal and like not have to change up who they are. You know what I mean? And like also staying successful, like Lil Dicky, what he did with his music career, and then turning that into like a TV show, and like sticking with like being real to his brand, like that. I have so much respect, and so like I tip my hat off to them, man, because like a lot of people like talk shit about like like, oh, he's a gimmick and all that stuff, but like it's like no, it's like music is music. Music is like artistry. That's art, man. And at the end of the day, you could say whatever you want about it, but it got man's got his own TV show. He's got all that stuff. Other artists like Russ, whether it's producing, recording, mixing, and all that stuff, and doing it all himself, and like being an independent artist as well. Like Russ was the reason I actually initially started distributing through TuneCore. So it's like, okay, so this is like, I love to like get influences from everybody, like everyone from like Chris Brown, T-Pain, like T-Pain being able to have that longevity of being able to like stay relevant throughout all this time. People don't give him his flowers as much now these days
Yeah, no.
as he deserves, and it's whack.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. Being out in these studios and a focal point of engineers out here, especially in New York area, what do you think is next for New York when we talk about the sound? We had drill just take over. I mean, I guess you could say that's still on in New York a little bit. I mean, I don't really listen to the radio anymore because I'm such a big lyrical guy, and I like what I like and I don't like what I don't like.
Of course.
What's next out here for the wave of New York? What's this new sound that you're starting to hear, if any?
In all honesty, being in the studios in New York, like you just hear a lot of drill, and a lot of drill. It's actually, like I wouldn't say like I don't like it. Like I'll listen to some drill songs, like I appreciate it, fucking dance to it. It is pretty hype. I'm not gonna lie. Like it has a lot. It brings that energy when you want it. But outside of that, just being in New York, being raised there, and then working in studios there, like I see a lot of melodic rap. What now is called like what rap was called, like probably 5-6 years ago, is now called like R&B. I feel like now what rap is called now is like yeet and like the crazy, like I don't even know.
Perfect example is A Boogie, right? Is that what the type with the melodic rap, right?
Yeah, exactly. A Boogie, dope ass dude.
Yeah. Oh, you've met him?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was dope. He's super chill, super kind, very very friendly dude. No, honestly, very humble.
Who was one of the idols that you met that was really out there growing up?
I haven't met too many idols, but meeting Alicia Keys at like the studios while I was interning there was major. It's huge, just being able to be like, oh shit, like it is possible getting into these rooms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was definitely like an eye opener. It's like your dreams genuinely aren't like that far away.
No, they aren't, and they're becoming a reality. It's happening. You got the distribution deal. Tell me how you linked up with L Nice. That's my guy right there.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm in Miami currently,
Yeah.
and right now I'm doing some work at House of Hits studio down here in Miami, and I met him. What was it, like Saturday
Mm,
when he was here at the studio, and we just started chopping it up. Dude, great man, great people, great
yeah.
people.
No, there's a lot of, despite the industry being a figurehead, it's like a snake. There's some genuine people in this industry, though.
For real, for
There
real.
is.
Yeah, and like you
Absolutely.
can tell because like those people are, you can tell they're genuine right off the bat. It's like they're trying to do whatever they can to help because they understand the struggles of whether it's an upcoming artist or an engineer, producer. It's like they know the barrier to entry to this industry is just fucking, it's cruel.
Yeah.
And you know so because of that, it's easy to tell the genuine good hearted people.
Mhm.
And
There-
El Nice, one of
yeah.
them. Shout out El
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. He's one of those shots. How nice. Biggest obstacle that you faced this far in the industry.
Yeah, which one's that big? But I don't know if it's like mixing, whether it's, keeping that, I'd say just keeping that discipline.
Keeping discipline.
Like that's definitely the number one. Like that's everything,
Yeah.
especially in this industry, keeping consistent, keeping disciplined enough to actually, go back to the studio, record, open that file back up in Pro Tools and like mix, like do those little edits and, go back to that song, being disciplined enough to be like, all right, like I can write that like bar better. And like, I have to post this on social media. Like I have to actually like make TikTok content. Like it's a lot, especially as an independent artist, because you're doing everything from those to TikTok, trying to establish a content calendar, think of like 30 different ideas for 3 days of content. Like
Yeah.
then you got, the graphic designs, you got the YouTube banners, you have Spotify Canvas, the cover art, the mix, the master, the recording, everything. And it's super easy to get lost in all that, and then lose the discipline to keep doing that for not only that one song you're working on, but the next song, and then the next song, and then the next song. So staying disciplined, I'd say, is the number one obstacle anyone faces.
Yeah, absolutely. Staying consistent, longevity, something that you yearn for. Absolutely. I could tell that already. I want to get into this upcoming project that you're working on. How's this going to branch off of Let Me Know? Is this going to be an extension of a phrase similar to that? How are you looking to construct this upcoming project?
So this upcoming project is couple actually. So this one, next one up, is actually called One of One. And that one's in English and Spanish, and it's featuring a friend of mine who's actually also rapping in Korean and English. So I'm really trying to, you know, branch off and like stick to those, that bilingual and like diverse lane of, I can switch these lane, I can stay in my own lane of like my sound, but also, you know, expand my lane type shit.
Yeah. And you're doing it.
Yeah. So like this next track, one of one is also like another melodic rap. What I guess we'd call R&B now. Yeah. uh, Next track coming up, and then the ones after that are I genuinely feel a lot more um expressive of my character and who I am, which is what I'm trying to go for, what I feel like every artist should go for.
The authenticity.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you got that, man. 2023, what else is on your list here so far that you accomplished besides the upcoming projects that you just mentioned?
Upcoming projects, um trying to step back and build my team
Mm,
right now. Just because I'm very controlling when it comes to my art and my music, and this past year, like I was able to, learn that because I had another manager and then it just didn't work out. And, I had someone trying to, buy tracks, buy some songs, buy like take literally I had one offer, someone's trying to literally just own 100% of my masters for the next 15 years. I
Yeah,
was
screw
like,
that.
how dumb do you think I would like what? Like, so it's like, so that like getting that, and that was my first, no, honestly, that was my first offer before I'd even like had a manager or like even thought about, working with being, like being open to a manager like internally and like working with someone on like marketing or like cover art and all that stuff. Cause like that was like such a predatory fucking contract and move that, kind of like fucked me up. I was like, damn, like you hear stories about people in the music industry, being, very predatory and just trying to be sharks and take advantage of people who don't know, you know, that that really eventually brought me into when I was working with my manager last year to like a spot where I was like kind of I couldn't fully trust them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's like the worst part. Like you can't have anybody on your team that you can't like fully trust, I feel like. And especially when it comes to like art and music and how I am with my art and music. So um, you know, eventually, you know, seeing those ties like kind of I learned my lesson throughout the year, not only from that predatory offer, but from the other offers and the other like attempts at building a team and building relationships with people to the point where I can grow with them is, was were a lot of lessons learned in 2022. And with a distribution deal and a new state and just a new opportunity down here in Miami, it's like applying those lessons learned and successfully doing so and successfully building out that team.
You got to build that dream team. We could see that, you had to get some people that you weren't confident about up out of there. And you did. You did.
Exactly.
With this distribution deal, is this between Lazar Productions? Is that what it is?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is between Zar Productions and the record label I'll be dealing with. Um yeah, it's just, motherfuckers gotta stay smart out there. Like
Yeah.
register the LLC, cover your ass, cross your like what is it? Dot your I's, cross your T's, because motherfuckers out here will fucking fuck you up.
Yeah. No, they're just waiting. They're like hawks. They're waiting.
Literally. Yeah. So it's like you gotta best way to do it is just like do it right the first time and you won't have to do it again.
Yeah.
That's how I like to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to make sure if I'm doing this shit, I'm doing it 100%. I'm putting out all my effort, all my lessons, my integrity, my love, my everything to whatever it is that I'm doing. Because at the end of the day, like I said, you do it all right once, you don't have to do it again.
Exactly. You never want to start over because then it's like, I had to do this again. Oh man, another setback,
I mean,
another
starting
one.
over though can be good though. Like I'm starting over
Yeah,
right
it
now
could.
in Miami, and
Oh, so you're actually relocated. I thought you were just visiting. So you're actually relocated out to Miami.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So it's like taking one step back to take 2, 3 steps forward.
Okay. Wait, so you feel as though this step to Miami's backwards compared to being in New York?
I wouldn't say backwards in terms of the music and the network I made and like what I'm making musically and creatively, but where it's going backwards is that network and that security I had at the other studios. Like I would be able to get my sessions, add job out there, work and everything, and then kind of getting this distribution deal was kind of more more so contingent on me being in Miami to be able to, genuinely work with the team and, and hustle. And I didn't have a place out here. I didn't have proof of income. I didn't have apartments. I was like, fuck it. You know what? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it. And I just said, fuck it. Just bought a fucking one-way flight to Miami. Um, and right now I'm actually staying at my boys right now.
Okay, yeah. So you're doing that's the hustle grind life. Now I respect that.
So it's like
Yeah,
when people are like, yo, it's like, the fuck you doing? It's like I'm taking one step back to take those 2, 3 steps forward.
exactly. And you got to do that. Now that you're in Miami, when we really think about it, do you feel as though that, because I'm from Connecticut. I went to school out in Queens. I went to St. John's, so
Oh
you're
shit,
familiar
that's
with
what's
Queens,
up.
yeah. So
What's up?
I've been doing my run here because I just graduated about a little bit over a year ago, and I feel because I got my start in New York with doing the shows and
Congratulations. That's what's up, man. That's
yeah,
what's up.
yeah.
Congratulations.
No, I appreciate that. So I feel as though because I'm planning on relocating here and doing other stuff besides what I'm doing with radio and podcasts and talk and stuff. And I've been saying this theory for myself. I'm like, man, New York has run its course with me. Do you feel as though that you ran its course with New York? Like you kind of accomplished all there was with New York, and it was time for a change of scenery.
Um, I would say like I accomplished everything I needed. I wanted to in New York. Cause shit, if that were the case, I would perform at MSG. Fuck, you feel me? Like, once I do that and sell out MSG, then I'll be like, all right, I got New York. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it, it's all about longevity. And right now, in all honesty, what I was seeing back in New York was just a plateau of drill and just straight drill every day. And in all honesty, it didn't help me creatively. It didn't help me, do the things that I wanted to do creatively, and kind of took my energy away from, you know, my music and the music I appreciate and everything. So um I was honestly like, it's crazy how Miami worked out, because I'd been thinking about, it was this past summer, and I was just like engineering every day, just getting drill sessions, drill after drill. And I was just like genuinely debating. It was like, my music's in English and Spanish market, Spanish demographic, especially with, Bad Bunny and all these Latin American artists, is the demographic is growing exponentially right now. So it's like, where is that, you know, that headquartered out of? I mean, that's, Miami.
Yeah.
And everybody here speaks Spanish, English and Spanish, bunch of Spanish music around. Um, I wasn't really getting too inspired about New York, and I'd genuinely been thinking about it. I was like, fuck, maybe I could go to Miami. Maybe I could find like some, because I didn't have like a network of like, I don't have a studio, I didn't have this distribution deal or anything. Next thing you know, I ended up getting hit up by the record label Believe, and ended up, getting that offer of the distribution deal. And I was like, it'd be contingent on, you being in Miami. I was like, this was like 2, 3 days after I would like put that thought out into the fucking universe.
Wow.
I was like, what the fuck? What? Like, it's crazy. And then next thing you know, I was like, okay, maybe, but like, I don't know if I have a place to stay type shit. Like, where would I stay? And next thing you know, my uncle, who lives 2, 3 hours north of Miami, he hit me up. He's like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, would love to see you. Your little cousins have been asking about you because they haven't seen you in a while. If you want a place to stay, come over whenever. I was like, what the fuck? Like, that kind of, wait, what?
Yeah.
What's going on right now? And before Thanksgiving, I was ended up staying with my uncle. Originally, it was in West Palm. And um, it sucks to say, but it didn't work out staying with my uncle because of the same thing with, like, his parents of very strict, like, he doesn't really understand music. And when I'm having to meet with the label down in Miami and like get down here in like 2 hours, 3 hours, driving, it's like, yeah, I gotta go down. It's like when I offered you to like stay here. Wasn't, any plans about music or anything. He's like, why talking about like, why are you wasting your time with that? Stupid. Like, don't. And eventually just getting to the point where he's like, if you want to stay with me, you won't be like, you can't do music. I don't want to hear your music. I don't want to see music. I don't want to hear you like talking about like music business or any of that. And I'm like I can't do that.
Yeah. See ya.
Peace.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I got my friends down here in Miami. Shout out Jack and Devin. Absolute homies, realest ones. And they're like, yo, like, we believe in you. You're a homie. Of course, like, you need a place to stay. See less.
Yeah. Well, the important thing is that you have friends in this industry. I cut all of them off. My circle is, I can count on one hand my friends in this industry. I cut them off, you know?
Nah, for real, it's crazy. No, look, it's crazy that they're not even in the industry, which is it's the best part.
Yeah.
I don't have to bring the stresses of work home or anything.
Yeah. No, that's amazing that they, gave you a spot to say, yo, you can crash here, while
Yeah.
you're
It's
taking
like
those 3
they'd
steps
known
forward.
me since before I started doing the music. So, they'd seen me like grow from like the bottom up. And like when I tell them, like, I have an offer and an opportunity in Miami that's like once in a lifetime, like, like real friends, they're supportive of it. Like, of course, like, got you, like, no worries. So
Yeah. No, I like that you went, and that's an inspiration of itself. This whole story here, and I appreciate you being so open and honest about your
yeah,
story. It's inspiring. I'm sure it's inspiring for to the listeners here tonight, but especially to me, and going to where you're passionate, because drill, that's all it's ringing throughout New York, and this is probably why I've been tuned out of radio, listening to these main stations, and just the politics of. I'm not going to get into all that, but I know what's playing on these stations, and the fact that the music that Bad Bunny makes, that's what you're passionate about, and the bilingual side of you, especially when you do this with your songs, that you had to get out of there, go to Miami where the scene is at. I wish I could go, to where a scene is at, where we're still playing, that real hip hop where I grew up on, like
that's the
Dipset.
thing. It's out there. It's out there. And if there's one thing I've learned, especially making music and as an independent artist, trying to like, do it solo, not having like the most support, if any, is like your community, whatever it may be, your niche, whatever it may be, like it's out there.
Yeah.
It's out there for sure. The listeners are out there. That community is out there, and they're looking. They're looking for you. They're looking for whatever whatever you're passionate about. I'm telling you, like that community is out there looking for you.
Yeah, no, 100%, because as a listener and a fan of hip hop first, we came up. You mentioned Nelly before, but the Dipset era is New York. I mean, G
Yeah,
Unit. That was what New York hip hop
yeah,
was. And
yeah,
I don't know, I'm not gonna be out here judging everyone, but drill started out in the UK. It was in Chicago, then it took over in New York. You can have a couple of drill artists. I get that, but
yeah,
where's the root? I mean, Drake just brought out Dipset at the Apollo at his show.
yeah,
And it
yeah.
just goes to
So
show you when he
crazy.
says that, I don't care about awards, I care about this, because it's crazy when you look at Dipset, it's like they didn't win awards for what they did because they had such an impact, and that's the root of hip hop. And it's like, no,
Exactly.
we'd rather give awards to someone who isn't as authentic or represents that true authenticity sound.
Big facts. But at the end of the day, it's like if you're doing it for the love, like those words won't mean
Yeah,
shit.
who cares?
You're gonna do it, and if you do it right, like I said, you're gonna find that fan base. You're gonna find that community that's gonna support you. And like I found that out like this, especially this past year, 2022, because I started releasing what was 20 end of 2019, my first
Mm,
song, or what is it, beginning? I don't even remember. Shoot, but I remember dropping those songs. And then this second year, even whether it be like 2020, 2020, I think was like I was in the dumps. I hate it. I was like, fuck, what am I doing? I'm like, shit, I'm so stupid right now. Like, fuck. But like putting all that aside and kind of just saying like, fuck that. Like those, those doubts and those negative thoughts of, what people think and everything, those literally just in your head. Like those are gonna be the thoughts that if anything are gonna have you, quit or give up. And that's when I was like, like, no, like, fuck that. Like, I'm doing this, not even for them. I'm doing this for me. Cause like, I
Mm.
know when I'm recording and just like coming up with a new song, making music, like that's when I'm happiest. In all honesty.
Yeah, you gotta do what's right for your sanity and what
Exactly.
makes you happiest. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck this, if they won't support me, I'll find someone who will. And eventually, worked at the studios, made those connections, networks, like the producers, other engineers, local artists, and like being able to like show them my music and kind of like work with them, being able to show like experience, like hear that appreciation, that love, like the genuine love from like unbiased people is, like that's what keeps me going.
Yeah. No, and that's important. And when you're out there in Miami, you got to get some seats for these Heat games. I really think that you stare at yourself when you see things.
Nah,
Like
fact.
Drake said on Aston Martin music.
Trey said, Aston.
You're out in Miami, you got to go to the Heat games, man.
Nah, facts though. Facts. Eventually, though. Eventually. Right now, we're not on that type of timing. We're just grinding right now.
Grinding. Yeah.
But
That all come later. That's the thing.
I'll
You're
come
putting
later. Say,
man, Calvin, anything else you want to speak on that we didn't touch on tonight?
stay tuned, man. A lot coming. A lot of good stuff coming. This year's starting off like we talked about, man. This year started off hot, and it's only gonna get hotter because it's first song coming out March, one of one. From there, I'm dropping more tracks. Might even be a little EP in there somewhere.
Okay, yeah.
Feel me? So definitely stay tuned.
Yeah. Stay tuned, man. And when you drop that new EP, you got to come back on the show. I appreciate you for coming back on,
Oh,
you even
100%.
coming on tonight,
Appreciate you for having me, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate you for having me for real.
Of course. And, shout out to Al Nice for connecting us. And
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the guy right there, man. Shout
Yeah.
out to him believing in all the up and coming talent. And, if he really could be like a real scout out here, if someone said, who's next up in this game? Because he sees it,
Yeah, for real.
just go
And
by what
he's
he says.
genuine too. He's real. He's real
Yeah.
as fuck. So you know what he's gonna speak is the truth.
Yeah, exactly. You need more people like that instead of these,
Let
ass
me take
kissers. We know what the yes
100% of
men.
your masters. Let me take 100% of your masters for
Yeah.
15 years with no fucking renewal. Like what? Fuck that shit.
Yeah, you give them a Will Smith slap, okay?
Right? With their own contract.
Yeah. Clowns. No, but you're here, man. Calvin Ryan is rising here. This is his year. Big things, man. And let them know where they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter, all that. We want to make sure everyone gets that
Calvin
following.
Ryan, 2 underscores everywhere. TikTok, Apple Music, Spotify, Instagram, Deezer, Tidal, wherever you listen to music, I'm there. Calvin Ryan.
Yep, you know it, man. Calvin, thank you for coming on the show again, man.
Thank you.
Until the next time, man. Enjoy the rest of your night. Stay safe. Keep working, man.
Appreciate you. You too, man.
You already know, man. Salute.
Peace.
Peace, man.